Hey, howdy, friends. It's Steve DePaul here with the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Hey, today we're going to talk about Dallas versus the suburbs, some pros and cons. Now, if we live here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, we probably already know most of them. And so this is just going to be like a review for you, right? But let's get into it. So first of all, Dallas and Fort Worth, two vibrant cities, a lot to offer in terms of environment. They're sort of like this bustling urban environment, right? They used to call New York the city that wouldn't sleep. Well, thank God it sleeps every now and then in terms of Dallas and Fort Worth. But Dallas and Fort Worth, great places, a lot going on. We've got museums and we've got zoos and we've got nightlife and places to hang out and great restaurants. And like I said, it's like almost the cities that never sleep, right? So very vibrant and a lot of stuff to do. Employment opportunities. Did you know that Dallas itself has 11 corporate offices, corporate headquarters for the Fortune like 500 companies. Texas itself has something like 59 corporate headquarters, which rivals New York. Okay, so a lot of employment opportunities, a lot of pay attention to the newspapers. A lot of companies relocating headquarters here to the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. So there's a lot of opportunities for employment and for growth in terms of your professional career, right? Hey, before we move any further, hey, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/at moving to Dallas, Texas. We appreciate it and we appreciate you. You'll get updates, automatic updates and alerts when we drop some new information and some new videos. So it'll be great for you to, to be like the first on your block to know what's going on and to know what we're doing to help promote the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Again, we appreciate it and we appreciate you for doing that. Now let's talk about a con. One of the cons, the downsides of living in Dallas and Fort Worth, it's generally higher than the suburbs in terms of cost of living, right? So we know that when we live further and further away, let's say Denton or McKinney, and we start moving out to Little Elm, et cetera, it gets a little bit less expensive. When we get further in, we're talking about, from us, we're talking about Grapevine and Euless and I kept on saying Fort Worth, Flower Mound, and the cities and towns and communities that are closer to the cities, the prices start to go up, right? And that's because of the convenience, right? You're convenient to the city, you're locally convenient to the city, you're commuting back and forth, etc. People want to live there. That means the price of housing goes up. You're living in the city itself. There's a ton of condos and townhouses, those kinds of things that are like $1 million plus. Okay, so it gets more costly. Traffic congestion in and around the city, is just a lot. So as you get closer in, if you have to jump in your car and you have to travel someplace for work or to get someplace, the closer you get to the city, the worse it gets. You could be driving around 35W at rush hour in the morning, and it's not that bad. But as you start to kind of weave your way around to 183 and and the loop down the 183 in the loop, and it starts to get worse and worse and worse. And when you get closer to, let's say, Dallas to 35, like around the 183 area, it's just horrendous at rush hour. Well, that's because people are traveling from the suburbs in, and so the congestion gets worse and worse. Hey, what are some of the pros of living in the suburbs? Well, you got a larger home, larger yard, and providing more space and amenities types of things for your family. Okay, if you've got a smaller growing family, you want to consider the space, the areas to play, maybe a pool, those kinds of things. Which, as you get into the city, are not going to necessarily exist. The quality of life is quieter, less congested, and typically have lower crime rates. Okay, hate to say it, but typically have lower crime rates as the further out you get, in, from the city. What some of the cons, for example, is the commute to get into the city, whether for entertainment, for the museums, those kinds of things, or for going to some of the better, nicer restaurants. The time to get into the city, or for commuting for work, like I kind of mentioned before, it's longer and longer, and it gets kind of tougher as the further and further you get out. Now, Texas is doing a great job in improving the roads and stuff. The roads are always under construction, and they're not doing it just for fun. They're doing it to improve the commute, and so they're widening the roads in 635. They have that double decker thing going on there, and so they're doing what they can to improve the commute. But as you move further and further away from the city, Dallas and Fort Worth, the commute gets longer and longer. And then, you have fewer amenities, right? Well, amenities here I'm talking about is museums and movie theaters and the finer restaurants and those kinds of things is what I'm talking about, amenities. If I'm talking golf courses and swimming pools, that's better further and further away from the city. But the amenities we're talking about, again, are movies and entertainment and theater and the orchestra and those kinds of things, right? So it's further away, longer commute, etc. Hey, I hope that was pretty informative for you. Hey, next week we're going to talk about something that's kind of growing on people's radar list, is investing in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And I mean investing, it's buying homes to invest in and improve your passive income. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Hey, this is Steve. I am with the Rose Realty team. Thanks for coming.